So what made you sought after this fight with Canelo?
Canelo's a great fighter. You know, he's respected. I'm a fan of Canelo. And like I said before, Canelo is the last of the great fighters that's available to fight. Canelo's at 168. It's a big task, but I'm always up for it. Big risk, big reward. And I want to be the first ever boxer to be a three-weight undisputed world champion.
Talk to me about like the business of this fight, because it's live on Netflix. This is your first time fighting on Netflix.
Right.
How does this fight come together as opposed to like typical fights that you've had in the past?
Well, it's all the same. You know, at the end of the day, you got the promotion, you got the network coming out, and they shooting you, and they promoting the fight. It's just, you know, on a different network.
This is the best fight in boxing, bar none. You know, we've got two of the best fighters in the world, and Terence Crawford trying to do what no other's done before, a four division world champion, and, you know, jumping up from light middleweight now to super middle, trying to achieve the unachievable against Canelo Alvarez, who is pound for pound. Can he do it? I think he can. I think that this guy creates history. Terence Crawford is...
Spencer Oliver warned Canelo that he's facing the biggest challenge of his career. He believes Terence Crawford is chasing history, stepping into dangerous territory where legends are made or broken. Even promoter Eddie Hearn, who once leaned toward Canelo, is now tilting in Crawford's favor. He admitted, if Terence Crawford decides to box elusively in this fight, I think he's going to really have success. That statement alone shows how dangerous Crawford is. If a veteran promoter like Hearn sees Canelo struggling against that slick, elusive style, it's not just hype, it's a warning. Crawford has the skills to turn this fight into a nightmare, making Canelo chase shadows all night. The shift in tone from someone who first backed Canelo speaks volumes, showing that the unthinkable is edging closer to reality. Hearn painted the matchup as more than just another fight, calling it two legends meeting at the tail end of their careers, but he quickly shifted focus to one burning issue, the weight.
Back end of their careers, but two legends, pound for pound legends of the sport. A fascinating fight between two guys with tremendous ring IQ. I guess the big conversation is how the weight will affect Bud and how he will respond to the size. You know, we got a situation where in Los Angeles, Crawford didn't look that big against the 154. In fact, I thought Madrimov looked the bigger, the stronger guy in that fight. I thought it was a very, very close fight, that fight. Now you're going up two divisions at 168 for Canelo Alvarez, who is, you know, a pound-for-pound legend of the sport. Against Skull, he didn't look great. You know, the movement didn't look great. I didn't think...
Hearn reminded fans that Crawford didn't even look big at 154, and now he's jumping to 168 against one of the sport's strongest champions. That physical leap is the ultimate test of his limits. Still, Hearn stressed that Crawford's greatness often defies logic. This fight will show whether pure skill can overcome sheer size. He then pointed to the real danger, how Crawford reacts once the punches start flying at super middleweight. That, he said, is the true million-dollar factor.
Another question. How can he hang at 168? When you spend time with both of them, they're both so confident, you actually can't see him losing. Bud talks a brilliant game, and he's walked the walk continuously. And he has probably the best boxing IQ in the game. I probably, and you know, Canelo's my guy, but I probably lean slightly.
From Hearn's perspective, both fighters are overflowing with confidence, making it hard to imagine either man leaving defeated. Yet he leaned toward Crawford, praising his unmatched IQ and adaptability. Even as a longtime admirer of Canelo, Hearn admitted the scales tip slightly toward Bud, a rare admission that highlights the respect Crawford has earned. He acknowledged what most fans already feel: Canelo will enter as the favorite, but he didn't stop there.
Canelo will be a favourite going in, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Crawford could do it.
In the same breath, Hearn made it clear that an upset wouldn't surprise him at all. Crawford has already shown that odds and labels mean little once he steps into the ring. For Hearn, this fight isn't about favorites, it's about whether Crawford can turn belief into reality and flip the boxing world upside down. His words frame Crawford as the sport's most dangerous underdog. Hearn also pointed back to a fight that still haunts Canelo, the loss to Bivol, calling it the blueprint Crawford could follow.
Interesting, I think Bivol really did set the blueprint of how to beat Canelo Alvarez. You know, what you do is you're slick, but you throw punches in bunches, you move into range, bomb, 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 out of range. You do it again, because Canelo's not that active. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. And he hates movement, hates it. Crawford's got, Crawford, to be honest, Crawford's got to probably make it a little bit of a stinker.
According to Hearn, Bivol exposed Canelo with slick movement, volume punching, and constant rhythm, the very style Crawford has mastered. If Crawford makes Canelo chase, he controls the fight. Hearn's warning was clear: unless Canelo has evolved since that defeat, Crawford could walk him into the same trap. This fight will reveal whether Canelo has truly learned from past mistakes. Hearn also stressed the importance of the opening rounds, believing Crawford is built to seize control early.
He's got to go in there and just win rounds. And I think Crawford will win rounds in those fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially the early rounds. So Canelo may have to do something and try and, because he's not that active. I don't think he really wants to work that.
Hearn believes Crawford's sharpness and tempo will allow him to bank rounds before Canelo can settle. And when a fighter like Canelo is forced to play catch-up, the pressure builds quickly. Hearn concluded that if Bud establishes an early lead, Canelo could end up battling both time and momentum. The opening rounds, he said, might write the story of the entire fight. American boxer Sergio Mora also weighed in, noting how Crawford's physical transformation is reshaping the narrative. He emphasized that appearances can be just as influential as skills inside the ring.
But the more this fight goes, it's more 50-50, and more people are starting to respect this man because he's been posting social media. He looks bigger. He looks like a muscular fighter, not like an out-of-shape lightweight or welterweight coming up in weight. He looks like a legitimate, muscular, middleweight type fighter. I love the fact that he's actually marketing himself, getting great sparring, the running, the videos, and just, he looks like a beast, man. So I love everything he's doing to promote this fight and to show everyone this. I'm not the smaller man here. It's going to be an equal-sized fight when it comes to...
Mora highlighted how Crawford has silenced critics by looking every bit the part of a natural middleweight. Training clips, sparring footage, and his raw physique send a clear message: he's not stepping in as the smaller man. This shift in perception fuels the belief that the fight is now on equal terms. For Mora, Crawford's body and mindset already appear battle-ready, making the showdown even harder to predict. He doubled down on Crawford's transformation, this time focusing on the athletic side of his rise in weight, stressing that Crawford's build isn't just for show, it's functional and powerful.
But he's an athletic fighter. I mean, he has a wrestling background. I think he put on the right muscle. He's not soft in the midsection. You could tell that he still carries that muscle right. It's like whenever you do go up in weight and you see the muscle around the shoulders and the biceps and the back, that's when you're like, wow, okay, this is impressive. You see him deadlifting. He's a strong fighter, and he did it the right way. Just like Roy Jones Jr. when he went to heavyweight. He didn't look heavy. He looked just as muscular, only he did it, the muscle were in the right proportion places. I think Bud looks exactly...
Mora pointed out that Crawford's added muscle looks natural, balanced, and built for fighting. From his shoulders to his back, every part of his frame now signals strength. He even compared the transformation to Roy Jones Jr.'s legendary move up in weight, saying Crawford mirrors that same flawless shift. The comparison places Bud in elite company, raising the stakes for what lies ahead. Chris Mannix also weighed in, noting that Crawford's preparation hasn't been rushed or reckless, but instead a calculated plan built step by step with one target in mind: Canelo Alvarez.
Physically spectacular. He clearly has put on the weight in the right way. And this is not the case of a guy having a couple of months to get up to 168 pounds. He has basically been preparing for this moment for the better part of a year. Like, he knew that it was Canelo Alvarez or bust. So he's going to come in, I think, looking...
Mannix stressed that Crawford's body looks the part because the move up was carefully planned, not a last-minute jump. It's been a year-long mission, every run, every lift, every camp designed to handle the size and power at 168. That level of commitment shows Crawford isn't stepping in just to test himself, he's stepping in to win. And when preparation meets ambition, history is often written. Spencer Oliver also reminded fans how special Crawford is at welterweight. For him, Bud doesn't just belong in the division, he stands among the all-time greats.
I think that he lives with any welterweight. His best weight really has been at welterweight. He lives with any welterweight in any division for me, and that's including all the greats. You're going back to your Roberto Durans, Sugar Ray Leonards, all those guys. I think that he is that good, and we find out in September. It's going to be a fantastic...
Oliver placed Crawford's name alongside legends like Duran and Leonard, saying his skill set stands up in any era. Such comparisons are rare and powerful, showing the respect Crawford commands. September isn't just another fight, it's a proving ground for where Crawford ranks in boxing history. Oliver's words make it clear that greatness is being tested at the highest level, with an outcome that could redefine Crawford's place among boxing's immortals. He then turned to the fight itself, predicting the kind of war fans will witness, as both men are simply too good to fold.
In the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez. And I'd like to see him beat Alvarez, quite frankly.
I mean, a joint 70 knockouts in their careers.
They're incredible.
Is this going to go the distance?
Insanely, I think it will. I think because they're both technically that good and they're both very durable. That's how they become the superstars of the sport of today. You know, they both can take a shot. They both mix it up. They'll both sit in the pocket. You're going to have excitement for sure because they will both go for it. They're both spiteful, very heavy-handed, but I think they both here to fight.
He pointed to their toughness, power, and willingness to trade, saying that mix guarantees fireworks from the opening bell. Neither man backs down, and that's what makes this matchup so explosive. For Oliver, the question isn't whether there will be drama, it's how long they can endure it. His view was clear: this fight isn't ending early, it's built to go the distance. And by the final bell, fans will have witnessed a modern classic. Oliver broke down the biggest chess match of the night, Crawford's intelligence against Canelo's natural size and strength.
It's extra boxing IQ, and the fact that he's moved up them weight divisions, who Canelo moved up from welterweight as well. He's gone through the weights as well. So when you look at them sizing up now, Crawford actually looks bigger than him right now, but Canelo's developed as a super middleweight. He's accustomed to being super middleweight now, whereas Crawford isn't. But I think that extra movement will be enough for Crawford, and I think he will be able to sit in the pocket when he has to against Alvarez. But be sure, this one will be a barnstormer.
He admitted that Canelo is the seasoned super middleweight, already comfortable at the weight, but also highlighted Crawford's movement, adaptability, and ability to fight inside when necessary. For Oliver, that extra layer of ring IQ could tilt the fight in Bud's favor. He described it as a clash where brains and precision meet brute force. And with both men built to entertain, Oliver believes fans are in for a barn burner that defines careers. This could be the fight that cements Crawford's genius or reaffirms Canelo's dominance. Simon Jordan stepped in with a bold take, arguing that while many point to size as Crawford's biggest obstacle, it may not be the deciding factor. In his eyes, this is the perfect moment for Bud to face Canelo.
That most people would put to Terence Crawford is the size element of things. But I think if he's going to fight Sal Alvarez, it's the right time to fight him now, because we're seeing elements of decline in Alvarez. Okay, the dance partners has been forced to fight against William Skell, didn't come to fight, did they? No. But Crawford, it'll be interesting to see how their styles gel and how the fight proceeds. But having watched Crawford like you have done, from the moment he landed on these shores to deal with Ricky Burns all those years ago, to the manner in which he dismantled Errol Spence and stepping up the weight classes, I'm in Spencer's camp. We're both in the same position, aligned, foolishly together perhaps, in the belief that Crawford will beat.
Jordan pointed out that signs of decline are starting to show in Canelo, making this the window where Crawford's chances are strongest. He recalled Crawford's rise, from crossing the Atlantic to fight Ricky Burns to dismantling Errol Spence in brutal fashion. That journey through divisions has forged a fighter built for the impossible. Jordan aligned himself with Spencer Oliver, firmly believing Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo. And in his words, it wasn't just analysis, it was conviction. He then drew on history, reminding fans of the night Canelo fell to Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight, proof that even great champions can be cracked.
Alvarez take that journey up to light heavy and find himself coming up against Dimitri Bivol and not being able to do what he does at super middleweight. I just think that Crawford is such a fighter of such stature and competence that he might just be the kryptonite to Saul Alvarez.
For Jordan, that memory still looms large over this fight. He sees Crawford as the type of fighter whose brilliance, composure, and skill could expose Canelo in similar fashion. To him, Bud represents the kryptonite capable of stripping away Canelo's aura of invincibility. It's a perspective that makes this fight about more than belts, it's about legacy. And if Jordan is right, boxing could be on the verge of its next seismic shock. Tony Bellew didn't hesitate to weigh in on Canelo versus Crawford. There's only one winner in this fight, and it's not even close, he stated. I still think Crawford wins, and I still think he wins handily. Bellew's conviction carried weight. This wasn't a casual prediction, it was a firm declaration. He sees Crawford's skill set as simply too much for Canelo to handle. Where others point to size and power, Bellew points to ring IQ, timing, and adaptability. His confidence adds another powerful voice leaning in Crawford's direction, and when seasoned fighters speak with such certainty, fans take notice. Bellew also pushed back against Canelo's dismissal of Crawford's resume, especially regarding elite opponents, reminding everyone of one defining victory.
In just one elite fighter, as everyone forgot about the Errol Spence win. Because for me, the Errol Spence win was an elite win.
Yeah.
Errol Spence was reigning and dominant in the welterweight division, was beating everybody, and he went in there and beat Errol Spence up. So there's the first elite win that he's got. And if you look at these two fighters, there isn't that much size difference. Okay, the weight will be a bit different, but these fighters have been going through weight divisions quite similar.
Yeah.
You know,
down,
Canelo started at 10 stone, goes to from light welterweight to welterweight to light middleweight. We've all seen the rise of Canelo. People are making out like Canelo is a fully fledged light heavyweight or a fully fledged super middleweight.
He's been up and down.
This guy is...
For Bellew, the Errol Spence performance silenced every critic who ever doubted Crawford's credentials. It was an elite win over a dominant welterweight champion at the peak of his powers. He also noted that both Canelo and Crawford have taken similar journeys through the weight divisions. Bellew's message was clear: don't let size fool you. This is a battle between two men who've walked the same road, and in that balance, he sees Crawford standing tall. He then shifted focus to the constant talk about size, questioning why fans act as if Canelo is a giant in the division.
At the moment, he's the undisputed unified super middleweight champion. Is he the biggest super middleweight out there? Absolutely not, no. Is he even the biggest middleweight out there? No. So why is it when Terence Crawford goes in with him, and Terence Crawford's fought now at light middleweight, Madrimov I think he'd be for one of the titles.
So
he's got to win over a big light middleweight, and he's got to win over an elite welterweight, a division that Canelo was at not so long ago. I just think people are writing him off because of the size factor. Canelo is the stronger man, there's no doubt.
He made it clear that while Canelo may be the undisputed super middleweight champion, he's not the biggest man in the division. To Bellew, people are exaggerating the physical gap between the two. Yes, Canelo hits harder and looks stronger, but that doesn't guarantee victory. Bellew stressed that Crawford has already beaten bigger men before, and writing Bud off based on size alone is a mistake boxing fans have made in the past, and paid for. He added that if size and strength were all it took to win, boxing would be a dull sport. Instead, he pointed to styles, adaptability, and decline as the real deciding factors.
And the strongest man always won boxing matches, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
It would be, exactly.
And we'd stop watching.
Don't forget that Canelo struggled against southpaws as well in the past, and
Bud's not consistently always a southpaw. He switches back and forth. He's got so many different facets to his style. He's an unbelievably talented fighter. I just think he'll be too much, and I also do think Canelo's not what he wants.
He reminded fans that Canelo has struggled with slick southpaws in the past, and with Crawford's switch-hitting style, it's a nightmare matchup. For Bellew, it's not just about power but about options, and Bud has them all. He believes Canelo isn't the same fighter he once was, while Crawford looks sharper than ever. That contrast, Bellew argued, tilts the fight toward the challenger. In his view, Crawford's layers of skill will simply overwhelm Alvarez. Bellew also spoke about how the fight might unfold in the later rounds, believing that's where the real story will be told.
The judges' scorecards, but Canelo will be going for the stoppage. Once this gets past 8 rounds, Canelo's going to fear the cards.
Those
because
championship rounds will be exciting.
Looking from the outside, looking in, you know, Canelo seems like he's got a bit of a bee in his bonnet that Turkey al-Sheikh is favouring Crawford. You know, he's going on, oh, your daddy's this, and he's looking at that. And when you look into that, you're thinking in the back of his mind, he'd be like, I don't want to go to points here. I don't need to.
Got a point to prove now. He wants. Maybe we're going for that late stoppage.
According to Bellew, Crawford could force the fight to the judges, but he suspects Canelo won't want to risk it. He sees Alvarez chasing a late stoppage to avoid leaving it in the hands of the scorecards. That desperation, he said, could make the championship rounds electric as both men push to prove a point. Bellew also noted the psychological tension already showing in Canelo's press conference remarks. In his eyes, that pressure could drive Canelo to gamble big, and that's where Crawford can strike. Former world champion Sean Porter broke it down in his own style, calling the fight a razor-thin matchup where the margin for error is smaller than ever.
This is a 50-50 fight. This is a fight where, as I was telling the Uber driver this morning, these guys, we've seen them both make mistakes in the ring, but they've never cost them, right? This is the first fight that I believe they both have are going to get in the ring where the small mistake is actually a big mistake against the opposer. So Canelo making a small mistake is actually a big mistake because Crawford actually has the ability to somehow know that that mistake is about to happen, and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Canelo, on the other hand, Crawford hasn't been known to get hit, especially early in fights. And Canelo is the kind of guy where, you know, he's going to come out and let his hands go. He's going to find moments to let his hands go. But when he finds those moments, you can't be caught slipping. You can't be caught sleeping. You can't be caught in between. Do I go in? Do I go out? Make that small mistake against this guy right here. It becomes a monumental mistake. And that might be the last time you make a move that night. You know what I mean?
Porter highlighted how both Canelo and Crawford have made mistakes in past fights, but never against someone capable of fully capitalizing. This time, every slip could be fatal. He explained that Crawford's sharp instincts allow him to punish even the slightest opening, while Canelo's power makes any lapse from bud potentially fight-ending. Porter's words painted a picture of a high-stakes chess match where timing and precision mean everything. In his eyes, this isn't just a battle of skill, it's a test of who blinks first under fire. At the end of the day, one thing is clear, this fight isn't just about belts, it's about legacy. Terence Crawford is stepping into dangerous waters, chasing history in a way very few dare to do. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, is fighting to prove he is still the king, still untouchable at super middleweight. This is skill versus power, youth versus experience, precision versus strength, and only one man will leave with his story intact. Crawford has the tools to shock the world, but the danger of Canelo's power cannot be ignored. One mistake, and it could all be over in a flash. Still, it feels like we may be on the brink of something historic, a night fans will talk about for years to come. But what do you think? Can Crawford carry his brilliance into a heavier division and topple Canelo? Or will Canelo's size and power prove to be the wall Crawford can't climb? Will this fight go the distance or end in one devastating moment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. The countdown is on, and history is about to be written.